It became very clear from the beginning that technology is going to be a bridge between the traditional part of our continued growth into the future, and then connecting the past with the future, and we have to be laying this bridge in the present.
tuganireho gatoya kuri CV making, and then tuze kumva questions zihari, kuko hari abantu benshi bajya bambaza ibibazo byerekeranye na CV writing. So nicyo kintu cy'ingenzi nshaka ko tuza no kuganiraho. Nitwa Mwiza Chantal, nkorera Kigali CV, nkaba ndi recruiter. I think let's start with this how to write a resume. Sibyo? So ndagenda nganira, twavuze ko ari mu Kinyarwanda, but I'll go and I'm mixing. Icyo nshaka guheraho ni uko internet ifite resources nyinshi cyane, a lot of resources. Ndashishikariza mwese ko mwagerageza mukazajya mujya kuri internet. None ikindi cyiza ni uko AI yaje, so ntabwo ukeneye kwicara ngo usome ahantu uhere, link by link. Ushobora kwandika muri AI no mu Kinyarwanda, by the way. Ushobora kwandika muri ChatGPT ukavuga ngo mfasha kubona website zigisha kuri CV, zigisha ukuntu umuntu akora interview no mu Kinyarwanda, kandi igahita iguhereza izo links. So step 1 icyo nashakaga ko duheraho ni how to write a resume, ni gute bandika CV. Abazungu bakunda kuvuga resume, abantu bo muri abazungu tuvuge wenda in the North America, the rest of the world abenshi bavuga CV. Urebye aho bigeze, it's the same word. Wavuga CV, wavuga resume, ni nkaho ari kimwe. I don't know if I can show you a simple example of a CV, but what we will start with is I want to show you this. Yeah. Let's start with the beginning of the CV. Exactly how, right? So when you're writing the CV, urabona ko hano ari the first page of your document, right? Nizere ko abazi gukoresha templates bahari. Nimba abatabizi twaza kubiganiraho nyuma, nkabereka aho mwakura template yo imeze gutya ku buryo wagenda ushiramo imyirondoro yawe. So the first part is your name. The first part is your details: name, email, number, location. That's it. So it's easy to read. Baravuga ngo bitwara the HR recruiter bimufata 6 minutes kureba CV yawe. So urashaka you want to make sure it's easy for them to read through your resume, right? And to find contact information. So the second part of the CV is your professional summary. So your summary is a couple of lines, imirongo ine itatu, ivuga ibyo ukora, what your strengths are, what your skills are, in a summary, in a very short summary. We've done with the first part. The second part is your professional summary. I think ikintu ushaka kubwira abantu bose bari hano, nimba utari gukoresha AI, sinzi kabisa, kuko ni nko kuvuga ngo I don't know how to say it, ni nko kurya ariko nturishe ikanya, right? Cyangwa ugateka ntukoreshe icyuma ukagerageza gukoresha amaboko. It's the AI ChatGPT has made things very simple. Kubera ikindi kubikubwira, kubera muri professional summary uri kugerageza, you're trying to explain to someone, you're trying to explain to the recruiter, this is what I can do, right? In short, this is who I am, this is what my skills are, this is what I can do for you as a company, right? And many people, I'd say, I'd include myself, it's not easy to to explain this in words, right? Because writing is also a skill in itself. So, if you already have what you could do, you could start with the draft. So, kwandika, this is my short professional, this is my summary, what I believe I can do. Then you get on ChatGPT and ask it to try and refine it. That's step number one. Step number two, you can also give whatever AI tool you're using, whether na recommending gukoresha izizwi za ChatGPT, za DeepSeek, za Gemini, ukayihereza your work experience. If you already have a CV, good. If you don't have a CV, that's okay. Just type wibwire and then tell it, please look through all that information and write for me a simple summary. Give me a summary that is fitting. And then wowe uri bwicare uyisome, you will read it and then decide, okay, you know what? I think this is good for me, or I need to change, right? Because AI is basically just helping you is a tool. It's not making a decision for you. It's just helping you do what you need to do, right? It's an assistant. So to recap, when you're heading, it's simple. Now we have a professional summary, 4-5 sentences, max 4 sentences. So now we move on to this is another example of a summary, right? As you can see. So we move on to work history. Uri kubona uko uyu muntu yashizeho 3 types of work history, right? 3 experience points yaciyemo. What I recommend ni bullet points. So just like you're seeing in this website, just as you're seeing, they're giving you examples of what you need to do, right? So nimba ufite work history yawe nk'uyu muntu yari secretary, right? So you write your what you did, you write where you went to, where you worked, and you write the date of where you worked. Then you put what you did in bullet points, right? So you write what your roles were in bullet points, what you did. Apana kuvuga ngo ntago wandika ibyo wari ushinzwe, oya, wandika ibyo wakoze. Right? Apana ibyo wari ushinzwe, ibyo wakoze, ibyo wakoraga muri iyo role. Kandi ukabyandika mu buryo buri neat, buri short and concise, ku buryo nasoma vuba nkahita menya ibyo ushaka ibyo wakoze, nkahita mbyumva, nkabona ko nka recruiter, nkabona ko bigendanye n'ibyo n'akazi cyangwa na role ndi gushaka gufilinga. Ikindi navuga kuri work history, 2 to 3 roles are good, right, to put. So we need an educational background. So the educational background igenda munsi ya work history, right? I'll try and find an example of a resume. But the educational background goes at the bottom, right? You write your, like you see hano, kwandika university, cyangwa se ukandika professional certificates, cyangwa se ukandika aho wize muri high school, cyangwa whatever education that you did. Abantu bari self-taught, I think nimba uri muri tech field, abenshi muri twe turi self-taught, cyangwa hari bamwe bigeze biga formally. So you list, urandika ibintu wize, kandi ntubi, to show that there is a competency that you had, aho wabyigiye, nubwo waba warize muri free code camp, right? You list it there so that someone knows what you studied. And usually is a munsi ya experiences. This is a classic example, right? I hope you all can see. You can see the resume, right? Okay, I'll keep it like this so it's easy to see. Okay. This is a good example of a good resume. Ni example nziza ya resume. Urabona ko hariho name yiwe, hariho email, number, n'ahatuye, n'ahari muri Kigali, Rwanda. Hariho professional summary, sibyo, y'ibyo akora. Work history, 1, 2, 3, okay? And ukabona ko hano hari aho yakore, the company, you can add the location, and then also you can add the dates, right? So you add your igihe wakore. It's always good, ni byiza yuko bigenda byerekana ko there was no gaps, right? So urabona hano yakoze 2011, 2013, so 2013, 2017, July, and then August 2017 to current. It shows that there's progression, there's no gap years. But twese ntago ari uko bimeze. Sometimes hari igihe COVID yabaye, abantu ntago bigeze bakora ibiki, cyangwa you took a gap year. Don't worry about that. Make sure at least even if you did something in the meantime, you can write that. You can write that. Let's say if here there was a gap, you could say, I worked as a volunteer, right? So it wasn't paid, but maybe I volunteered doing this and this at that time. Or what you could do is you could make sure you list, instead of listing 3, you can list only 2 that are relevant to the work that you're doing. Then you have your skills, and then you have your education. So you mention your skills, you mention your technical skills, you mention your soft skills, you put them all there, and then at the end you mention your education. So these are the few things that I want to say now that you've seen the format of a resume. One is I wouldn't add easy graphics. It looks nice, the color, but it's better not to add any colors. And then now that you know how the format is like, it's very, 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 very important to tailor your CV to the job that you're applying for. So hari umuntu wabimbarije ejo bundi arambwira ngo, okay, this is why do I need to tailor my CV to a job to a specific role. And I told them, the recruiter doesn't care how easy you could have worked in a very big, and a very big role. You could have accomplished a lot. The recruiter does not care about that. What they care about is, are you able to do the role that they are looking for? Ushobora gukora ako kazi bashaka ku-employingira. That's all that matters, right? Doesn't matter what awards you won, doesn't matter where you went to school, let's say you went to Harvard, it does not matter at all. If I'm an employer, I just want to know, can you do the job or not? And so what you're trying to do with your CV is to convince and persuade that you are the right person for this job, right? Because I hope you already know, I can do this job. You know that for a fact, you've read the role, you've understood the company, what they're doing, and you know that you can be able to contribute to this role. So your goal is to show the recruiter that I am the right person for this job and I can do it. And so what you're going to do, and that's what they call tailoring the CV to the particular job, is you're going to try and show akazi kawe ni ukwerekana recruiter ko ari wowe, ko ushoboye ako kazi, right? So nimba wigeze nk'uyu nguyu tuvuge hano, nimba muri kureba, he's a video editor, right? So I'm thinking he's trying to apply for a job at let's say a photography company, sibyo? Gufata amashusho, tuvuge weddings n'ibiki, and they want to be able to, they're trying to show you ko bashobora ku-editinga videos. Ashobora kuba yarakoze at some point as a, I don't know, ashobora kuba yarakoze nka sales ahantu, but they're looking for a video editor, bari gushaka umuntu editinga video. So it's best kudashiramo the sales part. Biba byiza ko ashiramo nk'ubu ngubu, nimba hagira muri twese ufite company ya photography, akaba ari gushaka umuntu w'umu editor, uri no kubibona ko uyu muntu nubwo utajya gusoma ibi byose, of course nakubwiye ngo bareba 6 minutes, ariko wareba okay, yakoze lead video editor, okay, ni company hano na hano, ukareba ko ibyo yakoze ari byo junior video editor, ugahita uvuga okay, I think this person understands, whatever skills, ugahita ubona he does color correction, shooting live video. You as the owner of a video company, let's say of a photography company, multimedia, you look at this and you say, okay, you know what, reka uyu nguyu nzamwemvita muri interview, reka mushire ku ruhande. So nabonye umuntu uvuga ngo, is it okay should you use a template, or should you can you just use what you have? Sinzi nimba hari abantu kera ukunguku, ntago ari ukunguku twandikaga CV, sinzi nimba mwibuka twiga, at least njyewe hari ukundi ntago batwigishije gutya kwandika CV gutya, ariko ibintu byarahindutse ubu ngubu. This is the format iri acceptable ahantu hose mu isi. So byaba byiza ko wajya ugafata template ukayikurikiza nk'ukuntu batwigishije kera gukora CV. Your format ikaba iri outdated, ubu ngubu ari dusigaye twibandaho. Kera nako urebye abantu benshi bansaba kubakorera CV, suko batazi gukora CV, suko batumva work history, suko badafite education, ahubwo akenshi usanga bagikora CV ukuntu twayikoraga kera, ntago bayikora ubu ngubu. So the goal is to it would be better if you use a template. It's much easier for you, kandi bikagufasha nyine not to start from scratch. So I'd recommend that you use a template. Are there any questions maybe that we could hear?
So you mentioned right at the start of a resume or a CV, there is a professional summary, and there is also another CV that you have shown to us, which is written career objective. So I want to know a little bit of their differences, because I think even the name of itself shows that there may be a difference. So I want to know if exactly there is a difference or not of a professional summary or career objectives.
So let me just scroll down to the format of the CV, right? This is the. Hold on, just a second. Let's find. I don't like this very much, but let's use the one that we did so that we don't confuse people so much, right? I'm using this website because it has a lot of information. At least this page has a lot of information. It's information niche on how to write a good resume. This is basically the standard of how to write a resume, right? Professional summary, work history, skills, education. That's it. I don't think career objectives is something that you should consider. It's not. And that's why I scrolled through a lot of information in this page, because I don't think it's very relevant. And in my work as a recruiter and as a business owner, I don't think I've seen that kind of part of career objective. So just so that I don't confuse you, completely disregard that part. Look at this. My main goal is for you to look at this particular template or Revit template and consider it as the standard on how to write a CV, right? So I hope that's clear.
Yes, it's very comprehensive. So and another question here is there are some companies that request some references, and I don't see them here on this template. Is it actually required always, or we should be using this template?
No. If they do require references, it's better you could add another page. You could add another page that has now your reference list. Usually, just add another page that gives your references, or if I'd prefer for you, like, as you can see, there really isn't a lot of these, in all these resumes, there really isn't much where they write references. But my advice to you is, if you don't have a lot to talk about in your resume, what you could do, you could add a space in the bottom so you could add another box underneath education that says references. That is if they ask you for the references. If they don't, you just send in your resume like that, and that should be fine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. So this is basically it's a CV. Before a resume was considered something else. A resume was considered by Fataga let's say you could use a resume if you're applying to grad school, right? If you're applying for a PhD, then you would use a resume and not a CV. But in today's world, it's become the same thing. So ninga hari synonym. Wavuga CV, wavuga resume. Abangaba abenshi baba muri North America bakunda gukoresha iryo jambo resume, twebwe tugakoresha ijambo CV. So twebwe ndavuga, a lot of European countries and African countries. But today in 2025, it basically means the same thing. Resume, CV, just anything.
Okay, I'm a software engineer. Mfite ibibazo bijya kuba bibiri ariko bishobora gusa. Icyambere, imagine like nk'umunyeshuri urangije wenda mu bintu bya computer science and ntabwo afite working history, nashaka kubaza ese ni iyihe guidance mwamuhereza mu gihe ari gucraftinga resume, ese ni iki yashyira muri working history section? Ikindi nabazaga n'ubundi nk'umuntu uba akiri gutangira reka bari kumbyita cyangwa adafite working history, ese niye length muvuga cyangwa se mu yagakwiye kuba afite resume y'ukuntu yaba ingana, ndavuga mu ngano yayo. Hari abantu urugero baba bari talkative bagira ibintu byinshi ugasanga wenda ashyizemo ibintu byinshi, ese nize expected page yagakwiye kuba afite? Thank you, that's all.
Okay, so your question was if you've just graduated, ntabwo ufite ntabwo ufite work history, you don't have a lot of work history. Wenda duhere ku kintu cya mbere, abantu benshi wenda when you're applying for a job wumve ko 40% nimba ufite 40% y'ibisaba apply, ufite 40% y'ibyo bagusaba, please apply, and put your chance out there. Now, if you don't have a lot of work history, I think this is, let me try and see if I can move to that part. So this is it, right? Urabona difference yingi ni, okay? This is called a functional resume, so a CV. So what in the formatting, right? You're just going to format your CV bitewe na nibyo ushaka kwerekana cyane. Nk'uwo mwana urangije software engineering and ntago afite experience nyinshi, you want to make sure that muri skills uri bushiremo a lot of what you did, right? So you can highlight the projects that you've done, right? As a tech person, you've built this kind of app, you've done this and this, you have a GitHub, you have what? You showed all the projects that you've done, ukabyandika muri skills. And then afterwards, under experience, you could talk about any, like I said, any volunteer opportunities. I hope by the time ugiye kusaba akazi, nizere ko hari some form of work wakoze, haba yuko bakwishyuye cyangwa batakwishyuye. I hope there is some sort of experience ufite bigendanye n'ako kazi uri gusaba, right? N'ako kazi uri gushaka. Because let's be real, right? You're working for a company. They're not hiring you kuko bagufitiye impuhwe, oya, hari role bafite, hari intego bashaka kugeraho, and they want to know if you can do the job. So you might not have a lot of experience. Hari abana benshi usanga wamugani nka software engineer ntabwo yize akora ahantu henshi, ariko yakwereka the things that he has built, right? The skill, yakwereka and how he has applied them. Apana kuvuga ngo njyewe I understand or I can code in Python or whatever, no. But he can show you particular instances that ibintu nyine yakoresheje ubwo bumenyi bwiwe. Then hanjye nka recruiter ashobora kureba cyangwa namwe mushobora kuvuga ngo okay, this person looks like ashobora kuba uko ari kunyereka muri CV ashobora gukora ako kazi. So nka difference y'uyu nguyu twahereyeho n'abantu bafite experience, nimba utayifite, try as much as possible to show. So you're going to amplify kumva ugiye kwerekana ko skills zawe ufite kandi mu buryo buri actionable, mu buryo bwereka ko hari projects wakoze, byatuma umuntu avuga ngo okay, you know what, uyu ndamwimuye ngiye kumujyana muri interview round maze tuganire. Hanyuma, I think your second question, why subiramo, please?
The second question was about ese ni page zinga umuntu yagakwiye kuba afite muri resume yewe.
Page name, if you have worked 0 to 10 years, if you have under 10 years of nimba warakoze 10 years 0 to 10 years, then 1 page is enough. 10 to 20 years, 2 pages. And then 20 to above, you can try 3. But usually 2 is for 10 to 20 years. So if you have that kind of experience, then I think 2 pages is okay. But 0 to 10, when you want. So biterwa na years of experience.
Well, anyway, Chantal, are we going to have this format, if you don't mind? Maybe in the group?
Yeah. We can. I give you the format for the. I'll give you the format for the CVs. What I'll do, I'll also give you maybe a few websites where you can find formats. Sibyo, uzakureba some websites mwareberamo a different formats. You can do your best and look through them. And okay, then cool. Yeah. So I'll list them in the group. Sure.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, there are a few more other things I wanted to go through before we close. I think I can see there's a lot of time that's going on. So the other two, there's the other thing that's called ATS, right? So I don't know if you've heard of an ATS system, but I want to show you what ATS is about. Let's watch with me this video, right?
You've probably heard something like this before.
I hope you can hear.
AI systems reject 75% of job applications before a human has even seen them. Everywhere you look, people are afraid of ATS and offering tricks to beat it. Well, the good news is the robots haven't taken over yet. The bad news is you've been lied to about ATS. Today, we're exposing the truth about ATS software so you don't have to live in fear anymore. What is ATS? ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System. Basically, it's software that companies use to manage all the job applications they receive. If you've ever applied to a job online where you upload your resume and then re-enter all your details into a company's hiring portal, then congratulations, you've interacted with an ATS. ATS software takes all the information from each resume and converts it into a format that's easy to view and compare. Think about it. Every resume is unique, like a snowflake. With different formats and layouts, recruiters need a way to sort through all the information without physically flipping through each one. And that's what ATS does best. What ATS is not. ATS is not a robot or an AI brain that decides who gets hired and who doesn't. It doesn't replace humans, and it doesn't reject 75% of job applications before a hiring manager even sees them. This myth probably started because employers can set up questions to filter out candidates who don't meet basic requirements, like legal working status, physical location, ability to travel for work, and starting date. But everyone else's resume will be sorted by the ATS and seen by a human. Employers can use ATS software to flag resumes that contain certain keywords, more on this in a second, but they don't just reject everyone else. How does ATS impact you? After you upload your resume to an online job portal, you'll often be asked to re-enter all of the same information. Annoying, right? Why do I need to type in all the same stuff I just gave you? But you've probably noticed that some of it's autofilled. That's what the ATS was able to parse from your resume. I'm going to show you how to make sure your skills and experience can be easily read by ATS. Use an ATS-friendly resume format. This isn't about gaming the system. It's about making it easy for both ATS and humans to see why you're a great fit. Avoid things like tables, images, and multiple columns, because they get misread by ATS software all the time. It's also a good idea to avoid non-standard fonts on your resume, just in case the ATS can't read them. Finally, make sure your work history section is consistent for each position. Otherwise, you'll have to spend more time fixing it when the website asks you to re-enter all your information. Label your sections correctly. The software organizes your information based on common resume headings like work experience and skills. It's best to play it safe and stick to standard headings. So in other words, avoid unique or creative headings like jobs I've done, major abilities, or where I studied. Include job-related keywords. This is the biggest step in making your resume more ATS-friendly. Recruiters use ATS software to flag applicants who match what they're looking for, and they do this by scanning your resume for keywords like skills, certifications, and experiences. So how do you know which keywords to include? It's actually really simple. Just check the job description. Hiring managers tell you exactly what they're looking for in the requirements section of the job ad. And take note of any words that pop up over and over again. Those are the important ones. Just add these keywords verbatim to your resume if they apply to you. And it's not just for ATS. You should always tailor your resume to every job that you're applying for. And just to be clear, there's no trick for beating the ATS with things like secret hidden keywords and white font in the body of your resume. Don't waste your time doing that. Just write them clearly in your resume summary, work experience, and skills sections. Save your resume as a PDF or Word doc. Always check the job listing to see how they want you to save your file. If the employer doesn't specify what format to use a PDF, because they get displayed the same on every device. So there you have it. Now you know what ATS software does and how recruiters use it to find the right candidates. Set yourself up for success by following these tips, and your resume will be ATS ready in no time. Like and subscribe for more job search tips. Check the job listing to see how skills sections displayed the use it to find the right candidates. Set yourself up for success by following these tips, and your
I hope that ako ka video hari ukuntu kasobanuye some few things. Mu ncamake Applicant Tracking System ATS ni nkuko bivuze, if you've applied, hari companies who apply ingiraho and then bakakubwira ngo please upload your CV. So you upload your CV, wamara kushiramo CV, then they tell you, okay, now input your experience, your work, your education, So uribaza se kubera iki kuki maze kohereza CV, why do I have to write down the education, the experience again? So those companies that use this tracking system, it's just a tool bakoresha to help them sort nk'ukuntu babivuze muri website. And iyo washize mu resume irabanza igafata all your information ikabishira muri your, when you're trying to input something, so in the boxes where you're inputting muri questions bakubajije, and then after that so that's what it helps them. So what you want to do when we say impamvu tuvuga ngo sinzi nimba hari abantu babonye post zanjye muri group mbabwira ngo we can make you a CV and optimize it for ATS, applicant track, optimize it. Basically what it's saying is you want to make your CV in a way that now you don't have to waste so much time in inputting this information, and also that it matches the job requirement. Like I'm going to put all this in the group, these two websites, as well as one last one, imwe yonyine nshaka kukwereka, that shows how bad resumes look like, and that's very important. I guess we don't have time to talk about all of that, but this one shows you bad resume examples, and it's good ko wikwicara ukarebamo so that you can now see, okay, this is how a bad example looks like, this is how a good example looks like. How can I change? Ni gute nahindura resume yanje igasa nk'iyo ngiyo. Mu gusoza, before I take maybe the last questions, please ndabasabye nimba ugiye ku-applyinga for a job, hari abantu hano bari multi-talented bashobora gukora sales, bashobora gukora, so you could be working in tech, but you can still you can work as a software engineer, you can work as a sales person, you can do the accounting, and so you really want to tailor. Please, when you're applying for a job, think about the recruiter. Wicare mu mwanya wa recruiter, wicare mu mwanya wa nyiri company, uvuge ngo ndashaka kureba CV isa gute. Nimba ari njyewe ugiye ku recruitinga, nimba ari njyewe uyu muntu ndi gushaka agomba kuba asa gute. And then wamara gutekereza gutyo ukajya muri iyo job description, ukagenda ukuramo nkuko yavuze keywords, ugakora CV ijyanye na job description, and then that ibyo bizana amahirwe yo to be invited for an interview, Then after that, I hope and I know everyone here is very capable for the job that they're applying for. So I know you'll be able to interview well and get the job. Anyway, so thank you. I'll send all the links in the group, and thank you for listening to me. Like I said, my name is Chantal. I work for Kigali CV. If you need extra help, please don't hesitate to write to me on WhatsApp. I think what I can tell those people, you know, they are well-meaning. They are well-meaning. Go, you know, don't feel like they shouldn't feel embarrassed or anything like that. What I can just say is the CV writing has really changed, by the way. If you look at how people used to write CVs 10 years ago, if you look at how people used to write CVs 20 years ago, nizi technologies tuvuga za ATS zaje jobundi, right? So the only thing I can tell you, please get online, Google, good resume, good CV template 2025, and just follow that. Ukurikize iyo template, wumve ko ibintu byahindutse, ibyo turi gukora nk'ubu ngubu nanjye ibyo ndi gukora nk'ibyo yavuze, abantu baracyandika CV bitandukanye, and turi gufasha kwereka abantu ko ibintu byahindutse, and this is the correct way to write a CV. So that's the best way I can new advice now muhereza uwo. Yeah, Muri soft skills. Yeah, it's better to say communication skills. Maybe what you could say, you could use other words. You don't have to, because like what what I want to say is that your resume, you only have one page. The one page goes, right? It's sad. Okay, it's not sad, but that's the truth, right? You just have literally one page to show that you're good for the job. So, instead of writing a lot of, skills, okay, let me show you. I think examples, I like examples better. Serious? Reka nkoresha example. Yeah. Katurebe nimba muri kubibona. So, muri kubona uyu nguyu ntago nayikunze cyane kubera formatting, hari ukuntu iyi formatting itameze neza, but it at least hari ukuntu igendanye na sections twavuze kare. But uri kubona hano kuri skills, right? Uyu muntu ari applyingira, ari kwerekana ko ari umu accountant. So problem solving, senior communication skills. So maybe you will not say communication skills, but you could say what can you say in terms of communication? There's a lot of facets. You can take a small part of communication and add it to analytical skills, is also part of communication. So sinzi nimba wumvishe ibyo ushaka kuvuga, ntago muri skills ushiramo na examples navuga ngo communication skills, I was an MC in this event, or I negotiated this and this, cyangwa. No, you'll just write in short, very short terms what your skills are. Plus, please make sure that they are in line with the job. That's if you can take nimba ikintu kimwe wavana muri session yose, please make sure it fits the job you're applying for.
Okay, murakoze cyane. Ikibazo mfite hano, CV ndakeka wenda iguma ihinduka bitewe na skills umuntu aguma agira ndetse na experience agenda abona umunsi ku munsi. Uko byumva numva nyine itaba static, iguma ihinduka. Then mwibaza ni byaba byiza igihe CV ibaye ihindutse bitewe n'akazi waba ugiye wenda kwa applyingiraho job runaka, noneho ukaba wahindura CV, cyangwa ni byiza kuba wayireka n'ubundi iri static, bitari ngombwa ko wahindura bitewe n'akazi ugiye kwa applyingaho. Niba akazi wenda ugiye kwa applyingaho bisanzwe wenda biri muri CV, byaba ari byiza kubisotinga ugendeye ku kazi ugiye kwa purayinga cyangwa se wabireka noneho uri kubita akaba ariwe ubyirebera. Icyo ni ikibazo cya mbere. Then icya kabiri nkavuga ni ese wenda mwatubwire ibyiza by'uko CV yaba ari page imwe twabyumvise. So ni nk'iyo kezi byatuma wenda CV iba nini wenda ikarenga page imwe ikaba nka page ebyiri ku buryo wenda aho ngaho wenda byaba ariyo maximum pages zikaba nk'ebyiri. Niyo kezi yatuma wenda tugira nka CV page zirenga imwe kuko twumvise ko page imwe ariyo sawa. So ni ibyo bibazo mfite.
Murakoze. Icyo nakubwira please wituma recruiter ntabwo afite umwanya wo kwibwira ibyo ushoboye ibyo udashoboye. Ntabwo afite uwo mwanya pe. Ibyo nk'uko wavuze nyine ngo reka nohereze gutyo aribwira nimba yibwira nimba atibwira n'akazi ke. No, wowe ugomba kumwemeza, you're there to convince. Ni wowe uri kumukonvenka ko ugashoboye kuko nawe urabizi ko ugashoboye, right? So your job is to convince the other person that you can do the job. Icyo nakubwira byaba byiza just tailor the CV. Cara ufate CV yawe nubwo uzi ko byose bikenewe ariko ntago company imwe isa nk'iyindi, right? So cyane nubwo utahindura byose ukabona ko n'ubundi job description ibyo biri kugendana na CV n'ubundi ufite, genda urebe muri iyo job uri gushakisha urebe job description, ukuremo keywords, ukuremo that you uri kubona, ugende uhindura bitewe na experience wakoze, right? Ugende ushiremo so that it can align buryo kuko nawe recruiter aba ari gushaka izo keywords, aba ari gushaka education, aba ari gushaka experience. So it's always better, it's safer, biri safe yuko wakwicara ukayieditinga kuko ingamba yawe ni uguconvincinga recruiter ko ari wowe, you're the right person for the job, you know. Yeah, and then the second question wambwiye ya kabiri nabivuze ubundi CV ni one page. So abantu batararenga 10 years, nimba ufite experience 0 to 10 years, nibwo kirangiza high school, nibwo kirangiza university, ntabwo urakora imyaka 10, one page irahagije. Abantu barenze 10 years, hari abantu bamaze gukora 10-20 years, not even 30, 10 to 20, 2 pages. Aho ngaho umuntu yakwihangana akavuga ngo kuko umaze gukora ahantu henshi, so hari experience ushaka kugaragaza. So iyo niyo benchmark naguhereza, 0 to 10 years page imwe, 10 to 20 years 2 pages. Nimba uri muri iyo 10 to 20 years ukaba ushoboye kwigabanya muri 1 page, nabyo ni byiza kuko niyo standard ni 1 page. Ariko nimba ubona ko you know it's ni exception nyine twashira ku bantu barenze 10 years.
So murakoze cyane. So my name is Tegeka. So I'd like to, it's not a question, it's insights about resume and CV, because I have a little bit experience about that. So kukijanye na resume and CV, nkuko yabivuze Chantal, biterwa n'ubundi na location z'imsanga hamwe bite nko muri America cyangwa muri England cyangwa se muri Asia, applications ziye zitandukanye. Ariko icyo navuga kuri ngiye ku bwanjye kubijanye na resume ubundi tuvuge nimba muri job description harimo ibintu bashaka nyine ko ugomba kuba wuzuye. So iyo bavuze iyo ugiye kuvuga kuri resume biba ngombwa ko you are going to talk about those things that are related to the job you are applying. No byajya kuri CV niyo hazamo like comprehensive overview of your professional history, hakazamo like nyine ibintu bigiye bitandukanye. Ko nk'urugero last time nabashe kwa applying ahantu ariko akazi nari ngiye kujya gukora na history na experience nagomba kuba mfite yari gutuma mbasha kugakora. So it was like a new career muri nuza muri field yanjye ndetse no mu gihugu. It's like a new thing. So kintu banyatse ni iki, banyatse CV kuko nago bari kunyaka nago bari kunyaka resume. So CV iyo bakwatse CV nka gutyo nibwo shiramo academic history, professional history, abagiye volunteering ahantu hagiye hatandukanye muri field zitandukanye, kuko bazi ko niba kwa resume ko nago ufite experience ijyanye n'akazi n'umuntu ugiye kugira iki ugiye kwako, barabizi neza ko udafite experience ijyanye n'akazi ugiye kwako. So iyo bakwatse CV rero n'ushyiramo za academic history, professional history, wagiye volunteering ahantu hagiye hatandukanye ibintu, nibwo nyine tubona ko CV it's like more than 2 pages or 3 pages. None twajya kuri resume ni ka kazi none ugiye kwa applying ariko ugashyiramo ibintu bijyanye n'ako kazi. Nimba tuvugiye kuba like a software engineer muri professional history uraza kuvugamo like experience ijyanye n'ubundi n'ibintu bijyanye na software. Tuvuge nk'urugero wakoze muri technica, wakoze muri bug, wakoze hena ariko biri related na nuza n'akazi ugiye kwa applying. Niyo mpamvu bavuga ngo resume is like 1 or 2 pages, igomba kuba ari noya kuko babazi ngo ntabwo you're going to take like 10 experience ufite muri wakoze like muri minagiri, ukora muri minugumwe, ukora muri minisport. Iyo experience uyitanga mu gihe bakwatse CV, ariko mu gihe bakwatse resume udetaya bya bintu biri related n'akazi ugiye gukora, akaba arizo experience ubasha gushyiramo. Ko I have experienced that nigize gutanga ahantu like a CV for a medical engineer, ariko hari ibintu abandi commands ko bigomba kuba birimo. It was a little bit like planning ahantu n'ubundi recruiter kubwira ngo you should work on your CV like and you apply. Bambwira ko bitewe n'akazi n'ubundi muri job description byari birimo, ariko hari ibindi bintu bugomba udashyira muri nuza muri resume ko uri kugira you are making it like more complicated. Nkuko Chantal bitubwiye, resume igomba kuba ifite like short detailed kandi iri ku giti cyane, niko mbyumva ubwo nabwo muraza kutubwira iri relevant to the job, while CV ni ushyiramo full academic and professional history. Niyo mpamvu CV igomba kuba ndende ariko resume is like 1 or 2 pages. That's my insight. Thank you.
I appreciate your insight, Blaze, but what I'm going to say, because this information session was to help people write a complete document, which what we call a CV. And like I told them before, that at this point in time, it's very few cases. Very, 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 very few specific cases where they require a resume instead of a CV. But the international standard is the same. And I really don't want people to very confused, right? The goal here is to create a CV, right? When the impamvu twibanzeho cyane kuri iryo jambo rya resume nuko muri websites twarebaga handitsweho resume, right? Twabonaga twanditseho resume ariko wareba format ni CV. So information session yitwaga how to write a CV. Please, I don't want anyone to leave this place when they're confused on what anybody resume. Oh yeah, CV format twayibonye, ndaza kukohereza all the links. Please, the goal is to understand what the format of a CV looks like, right? And number 2, being able to know how to tailor the CV. Kuzi tailoring a CV bitewe na job description Ushaka. And number 3, I'll tell you this based on also my experience hiring people, based on my experience applying for jobs. When they say you could find a job that says resume, it typically means CV, unless in the case of Blaze where there are very specific companies that understand that difference and they're particular with that. And when Vuga to be calm about it, nuko if you send them the CV, most likely barizo kwandikira bakubwire, please no, this is not what we want. We want a resume, which is it's minimal. That's all I'm going to say. It's minimal. We don't want to go into the technicalities of it. I hope to mu Rwanda kenshi ni CV kandi iriya niyo format bemera n'ahandi hose waba uri ku applyingira around Africa and around the Europe and all of that, it's usually a CV. So please, I don't want anyone to get confused or to get to have any confusion after this. Bavuga none se resume niki, none se CV niki, twavuye hano bimeze gute ko numva oya tubifate nk'uko ari CV ahantu hose wabonaga twandi muri website handitsweho resume, please bifate nka CV because that is the acceptable standard, and technically they're basically the same in this day in most circles. They're the same. So thank you. Please notice that it's what we are trying to do is a document that will help the recruiter understand that you're the right person for the job. So yeah, I think that's the best that I can say.
Contact Chantal. It's contact number and WhatsApp number. I have also added the link to join the community and the link to share your feedback. So Blaise said, if you are feeling confused about what to put on your resume, you are not alone. I think the most important thing is to include the experience that actually relate to the job you're applying for. Even if you don't have years of experience, things like projects, volunteering, and coursework can still show your value. Keep it focused, not crowded. One page is enough if it's tailored well. So this is what he said. Okay. So niba nta kindi ndakeka twasoreza hano. We are still together. Turi muri community. Chantal afite group ya WhatsApp atangamo resources zerekeranye na CV buri munsi. Unakeneye CV agufasha kuyikora. It's basically what she does. Noneho natwe muri community session zacu nakagaruka. Dufite izindi session zizaba mu minsi iri imbere, izo turi gutegura zizaba kuri pitching ku bantu bafite project bashaka gupitchinga. Mu minsi yashize nasabye ko mwa reactinga kuri post nari nashyizeho ariko nabonye babiri gusa, abandi sinzi niba project zanyu mudashaka ko abantu bazimenya, ariko we are planning a session on pitching mu minsi iri imbere. You will get the time noneho tuyitegure. So niba Chantal na mu mwanya agasoza atubwira ubutumwa bwa nyuma noneho tukajya mu yindi mirimo. Ndabashimira mwese ko mwaje uyu munsi, nge ntabwo nongera kuvuga.
Rakoze Songa, rakoze abantu bose baje muri short session. Ndabashimiye kandi excited cyane uzaza kugaruka. Ni session ya mbere nje muri ya technica. I'm excited. Nkunda kwiga, nkunda gusoma, nkunda kumenya ibintu byinshi. So nzakomeza nze muri attending sessions nanjye nje kwiga. Thank you so much for listening to me for this time. Nkuko yavuze hari my information hariya. You can write to me, and best of luck in your job search. Imana ibarinde kandi izabaha ako kazi. See you.